Tea with Monique is brought to you by Mila Eve Essentials. Visit MilaEveEssentials.com for 100% pure, therapeutic essential oils and other products. Nature knows best, and so does Mila Eve.
I came to work. I came to slay. Countdown to the beat. True queens don't play. I came to work. Drag, slay, work, work. Hit the stage. Drag queens don't play. Yeah. Stand up to bullies.
What you gonna do?
Hello.
Keep dancing. What's up, Jay? What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Boss Squad, for another episode of Tea with Monique. Jay, how are you doing, babe?
I'm good. I'm really feeling refreshed and excited.
Good.
Like, I'm so ready for this episode because we have been talking about this for a very long time.
Yes, finally. I literally just put it out in the atmosphere. I need somebody for Zodiac Dating. And it's been almost a year. And then bam, it just happens. That's how the universe works. I love it. I am so excited about this topic. Before we get started, and our guests, I do want to shout out Tiffany Moon, R.I.P. to R.H.O.D. Tiffany Moon of Real Housewives of Dallas. She sent me some amazing wine that she has because she is such a boss. 3 Moons Winery. That's what I'm going to be drinking tonight. Okay. I'm going to promote her right now because I love her. She's a beautiful person. She's amazing. Here's her beautiful wine. And y'all know she has candles too. And she's going to be on next week. So I'm going to be tasting this. And I'm going to give y'all the real deal. What it tastes like, what it do, all of that good stuff. What you drinking tonight, Jay?
I don't even know. It's something that I got from Target, and it's called Baja Lime, and it's good. That's all I know.
Okay. All right. Look, we're not going to hold y'all too much longer. I see the comments coming in. Everybody is ready. What's going on? Shout out to our amazing moderator, always doing her thing. Mary. Look, she on it with the ice candles and everything. I love it. Yes, and make sure you download Drag Queens. That song is still popping. So yes, it's still a bop. But listen, we're going to be talking about Zodiac dating. I'm really excited about this topic because I really feel that it has a lot to do with who you're attracted to and who you attract, whether good or bad. It could be toxic, it could be good. I feel like it has a lot to do with that. And I'm a big advocate for what's your sign? I'm into it. So everybody knows. If you don't know, I'm a Libra gang over here. Boo to the Taurus.
Oh my gosh, no. Listen.
And we all know Jay is a Taurus. I love me some Taurus. I love Taurus people. They're good people. And my husband is a Leo. So we're we have one sign separating us. So we're what they consider, a perfect match. So we'll get into that. But I really want to, for the people who are out there who are in the dating world, to take something amazing away from this. So maybe if you're in a toxic situation, you can go ahead and remove yourself from it. Or you may open yourself up to something that is for you that you probably didn't realize was for you. So we are going to, y'all go ahead and put y'all signs up in the comment throughout the night. Yes, Team Libra all day. Mm-hmm. Love the top. Where'd you get it? Oh, thank you. You know what? I really don't know where I got this top from. That's a good question. I've had it for a long time. It's my first time wearing it. So yeah, but yeah, we'll get started. We're going to introduce Aunt Nisi. Thank you for the super chat. Y'all can't even let me get the guests in here. Y'all are funny. Leos are the best partners. Yes, they're amazing. So yes, we're going to go ahead and introduce our guests because look, we have an hour and we're going to use up every bit of that hour. I can feel it I can feel it in the atmosphere. This is going to be an amazing episode and people are going to walk away feeling really good about themselves. So I will not waste any more time. Without further ado, our amazing psychic medium, Chris Medina, is in the building.
What is up, lady? How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I've been looking forward to this episode, literally since we first talked, which has been about a month. I've been oh my God, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be epic. And my girl from Real Housewives of Potomac, y'all, Miss Ashely, Darby, vacation, still put us on her schedule. What's up, girl?
Look at her.
Mo, I was so happy to get this invitation because A is to see you. It's always great to see you. And B, girl, this is up my alley too. So I'm very excited. Yeah.
I know. I've been wanting, look, we're always trying to connect and do some things. And normally it's always about the kids,
Yes.
And when we started talking about Zodiac dating, I was like, oh my God, I got to get Ashely. Because you're so into that. If people don't know, like, people look at me and think I'm a tree hugger. No, Ashley's the ultimate tree hugger, y'all. Like she's so zen and so in tune with the environment. And I love that about her. So we're going to get this thing going. Chris, I'm going to let you just go ahead and open it up. You just go ahead and just give it to us. Tell us about, in terms of dating, we can start there and then let's just move where it feels good.
I gotta jump in here real quick and stick up for my Taurus people because I am a Taurus. So
yes, there we
Taurus,
go.
and also too, just to throw a little bit more shade on there too. Libra and Taurus, both ruled by Venus. Both like the comforts, the pleasures of life. Libra likes the pretty things. Taurus is gonna lay in comfortable, messy stuff. That's a Taurus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
That
it.
makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you were saying that your husband's a Leo, right?
Yes.
Girl, when I tell people, so when I do the
Wait,
psychic readings.
One
Okay.
second.
Yeah.
Ashely, your husband's a Leo too.
Oh, yes. So he and Chris are, I think, 2 days apart. Michael's the 29th of July.
Oh, they're a day apart. My
day
husband's
apart,
the
yeah.
28th. Michael's the 29th. I wanted to throw that out there before you get going, Chris. We're both married to Leos.
Oh, okay, so then you guys know how that Leo is there. So I like to look at, we'll start with Libra Leo. I look at that when I do my readings. I usually do the psychic readings. I'll throw astrology in there, like for shits and giggles and things like that. But for Leo and Libra, that's Ken and Barbie to me. That is, Libra is Venus. It's all about beauty. It's all, like I said, the aesthetics, finding that balance. I used to get it messed up and think that Libra was codependent in relationships because they'll say that Libra's codependent. But no, I'm gonna switch that up. You guys shine better when you guys have a partner in your corner. Love really balances that Libra out, and Libra hates that unbalance or those things kind of left unsaid or whatever.
Absolutely.
And here comes Leo, and I love me a good Leo, especially a good Leo man. Leos, they've got a great sense of humor. They love to dish it, but can't necessarily take it sometimes.
Hello.
But they're very much. It's Leo, the life of the party. They hold, they can be. I'm gonna get shade for this, but Leo men could be a little bit on the feminine side sometimes, because they can get their feelings hurt very easy. And 9 out of 10 times, I'm not saying this, I'm probably going to get a lot of stuff for this, but could be mama's boys. They love the affection.
Wow. I wouldn't call mine a mama's boy, but I will say, so I've been doing a lot of different reading, different history and things like that the past year. And what I've come to learn is that everyone has a feminine and a masculine side. It has nothing to do with gender. It's just those specific traits. I actually recently have been doing my best to tap more into my feminine side, because I am I'm very much, I'll put it like this. Most times me and my husband, when we hang out with other couples, I have more in common with the husbands than I do the wives. So I'm like, okay, I need to balance out, my femininity. I rely more on my masculine side, which helps me when it comes to business and getting things done. But I'm like, okay, I need to really tap into my feminine side and be more of that too. So I definitely see where you're going with that.
Yeah, and Libra's air. So Libra, you would think that it would be just a little bit more grounded, but Libra's kind of can be a little bit all over the place, especially when it comes to their emotions. They have a hard time letting go of things, and they could be very vain sometimes when it comes to being vulnerable. They look at vulnerability as a sign of weakness sometimes. The reason why I know this is because I grew up with a Libra. My mother is a Libra, and she was very headstrong, but very much somebody that did not show that emotional side too much. Does that make sense? Do you know what your moon is in?
You know what? I don't. That's a good question. I never researched it. How would I find that out?
If you knew the time, well, your birth date and the exact time of your birth, I can look that up for you too.
Oh yeah, I was born at 7:14 a.m. on a Thursday.
And when
In
is your
the
birthday?
city?
October 6th. Yep, in Atlantic City. 7:14 a.m. Why do I know that? I'm a Libra.
What year was it?
83.
1983. And what time was it?
7:14 a.m.
Okay. And you were born in Atlanta?
No, New Jersey, Atlantic City, New
Atlantic
Jersey.
City. Let's take a quick look. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but let's see what the moon is in. I love going by the moon sign. Everybody's like all about the sun sign. You know, what's your sun sign? Well, I'm a Taurus. I'm a Libra, whatever. I love going by the moon sign because the moon rules your emotions and how you internalize.
Right.
And that's big. So let's take a quick look here real fast.
Okay.
This is going to be for...
Wow, somebody said they were born October 6th, 7:14 a.m., 1982. That's crazy.
You are a double Libra.
Oh.
You've got the sun and moon in Libra, and you were talking all that mess about Taurus. You got a Taurus rising.
Look at that.
Is that why I'm friends with so many? All my friends are Taurus. I swear. Like a lot of my friends are Taurus.
Because Taurus and Libra, I mean, I'm going to stay away from traditional astrology, but they kind of mess with each other. They get each other. And since your moon rules your emotions, that's a Libra moon. That's all air. So you're double air. And then you've got that Taurus in your first house of self. Your rising is Taurus, according to what this says here. So,
wow.
I mean, you've got that. So it's a little bit difficult for you sometimes to show that emotional side of yourself. You can go above and beyond and do all these great things for other people. But when it comes to you, you kind of put yourself a little bit on the back burner. And then when Monique realizes that, then she's kind of lost her cool about that. She's kind of like ends up getting a little bit resentful, can get a little bit, kind of go into her shell and retreat for a little bit.
Oh, you are reading me.
Literally.
What are you, Ashely?
No, it's not a bad thing. Oh, I'm a Gemini.
What's your moon in? Do you know?
Aries. Yes.
You got that. So, I mean, I love Gemini. Gemini gets a bad rap all the time, but I feel like Gemini is not in a lower end type of way, in a negative way, of a Virgo. Does that make sense?
I have Virgo rising as well.
Oh, geez.
I'm a double whammy. I know.
Yeah, that Gemini. But you guys have a bad rap though, and I don't feel that way. A lot of people call you two-faced. I don't think so. I think that Gemini is very practical and logical. Gemini is very very again practical, logical, kind of skims the surface or whatever. They're not people that typically are going to go out and cause a scene. They kind of not stick to themselves. They're great at reading and knowing a lot about a lot of different things there, but they're easy to get along with. Don't lie to me and don't waste my time. That's Gemini.
Yeah,
and then you got
agree.
that Aries. Yeah, you got that Aries moon, which that mental stimulation. That need for mental stimulation can be just a little bit impatient when it comes to certain things. Does not like to wait. But also the initiator, one that kind of, can start a lot of things, but not necessarily get them all done.
Which is also a Gemini trait too,
Yes. And then that Virgo rising, which is, that's why you carry yourself so well. I mean, as far as your look, that Virgo youthful energy type of look, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Thank you.
And
I will say that I feel like Geminis get a bad rep because people call us two-faced, but more so I think once you get to know that there are two sides to everybody. You have your external face and your inner face, right? But some people think that just because you don't show your vulnerable side immediately that you're being two-faced, but I don't think that's true. You just have to get to know me.
Exactly. But see, but Gemini is particular on who they allow. That's the key word, who they allow to get to know them. And some of my best friend, who I call my sister, is a Gemini. One of my cousins that I grew up with that's extremely psychic as well is a Gemini. We literally shared the same crib together. So I get you guys. I speak Gemini. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Marcella, for the super chat. She said, hit the like button, y'all. Hey, Ashely, J, Monique, and Ashely not two-faced. She gets the party started.
That's right, Marcella. Monique and I getting that party started, girl.
Listen here. We're going to have a good time regardless. Yes.
Every day, all day.
What do you have for Jay, being that he's a Taurus? And then what's your moon sign, Jay? Do you know?
I don't know.
When's your birthday?
April 27th, 1999.
Mine is the 25th.
Oh, you're a baby.
I know, 1999. I was in high school.
Listen,
He's the same age as my daughter.
Listen, I tell everybody I was a part of the 90s.
Yeah, for a split second.
Barely.
For a millisecond.
Yeah. So Jay is a Taurus for sure, and then he's got the moon. He's got a Libra moon.
Oh.
Ah, isn't that interesting?
Really?
That it's. Do you know the exact time of your birth?
I don't.
It looks like a Libra moon. So go back to the very beginning when we first hopped on this, when we first got on the chat together, and we were talking about that social side of yourself and allowing yourself the opportunity to kind of let go. Taurus in that Libra energy, Libra moon, for a man, it's great on a woman, but on a man, I feel like it's too feminine sometimes. And I feel it can cause that person to flip-flop back and forth. I want to do this, but wait a minute, something just came up. Or like you kind of ask everybody and their mother for their opinions. And I'm not a follower, but making sure that what they're going to do is not necessarily the right thing, but I got the opinions that I need. And that Taurus could be very stubborn. I know Taurus. I mean, I'm a Taurus.
Wow.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, just really fast, you can tell me to mind my own business, but what's going on with your love life? He's like, mind your own.
No, I don't know. I think right now I'm in the space of just kind of figuring out different personalities that I like.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to dating anybody or anything like that, but I think I'm kind of in the phase of my life where I just kind of want to have fun and not really. I think I'm selfish. I don't want to worry about anybody else's feelings right now. I just kind of want to just have fun and. I'm gonna tell you to be selfish, but I'm also gonna tell you to be free with yourself as well. Allow yourself the opportunity to let go and not hold yourself back or be at arm's length with people at times. Because in order for somebody to crack your shell, they have to come with a good sense of humor. You love to laugh, so I mean, that's one of the biggest things for you here. So I again, you're young. I'm not going to throw your age in there, but. Try not to hold yourself back too much. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Love it. Listen, before we move on, we lost Ashely. She's on vacation in the Bahamas, so I'm sure she'll jump back in a second. But I do want to say that this wine is amazing, and y'all know I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This is from Real Housewives of Dallas, Tiffany Moon. This is her wine, 3 Moons Winery, and I'm thinking of Cabernet. It's really good. So I'm going to put up her information here so that y'all know it's at the bottom there. If y'all want to try it, it's amazing. Pour some out for RHOD, you know, all that good stuff. All right. Ashely's back.
I'm so sorry, guys. This Bahamian Wi-Fi is a little sketch. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. We know you're on vacation, so we appreciate you even that much more. Like seriously. So, there's Jay. Okay. Everybody's here. So Chris, let me ask you. What advice can you give to the people? Because everybody is like putting their signs up here. They're telling you what their spouse sign is. People really want some answers. And what is the best way that you can, I guess, give them some pointers when it comes to dating life or maintaining relationships without you having to read in each individual person?
The biggest one, don't settle. Stop settling in these relationships. I don't want to hear that, they've got other great aspects and trying to balance people out to kind of fit where you need them. It's a waste of time. We've only got a short amount of time on this planet here. Go and do you. Go find somebody that you really vibe with. That's my main thing. Because a lot of times, people get involved in relationships and they'll, kind of like, well, you can't have everything. Says who?
Oh, wow. That's right.
That's one of my main things here, and also too being real. I love my clients. I love the people that I mess with in the industry, as far as like being on shows like this, and you guys got huge followings, and a lot of people watch the show. a lot of people aren't cut from the same cloth, and this is no disrespect to people, but sometimes people will use the persona of somebody else in a relationship and then realize by the time that it's too late that that's not who they want to be.
Right.
Does that make sense? So be real, be you, because this is a relationship. This is not television. This doesn't, there's no commercials in between. We're not going to go to a reunion afterward and, you know, and sing together. This is real life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Riley had a good point, because I'm always telling her this. True story. Monique is always telling me not to date my own sign. Why?
What's Riley's sign?
Riley's a Taurus.
Oof.
Two bulls? It's two bulls in a relationship.
I think that would be fun.
And she's April 24th.
If you don't kill each other first, because Taurus, let me tell you something. Taurus is, and I'm not just saying this because we are Tauruses. I don't care what any astrologer says. Taurus is the most manipulative sign out of the zodiac, emotionally manipulative. We get involved in relationships and we are very much observers. We watch what's going on in these relationships and we can end up projecting our own stuff on the other person sometimes. And I've dated a couple of Tauruses, but they are just too stubborn. And it's always kind of like, who's going to give in first? I'm sure there's great relationships out there, but with my own experience, it's always that hard-headedness. Nobody wants to kind of like, you know, crack the shell of the other person, you know, in kind of like just let go and not be so cautious all the time.
Wow. Well, that's where I think your rising sign and your moon sign do come into play. I feel like what you said earlier about acknowledging that there is so much more to you than just your sun sign is really important. So even when you read your horoscope and things like that, you should always read your rising sign and your moon sign horoscope. The
moon especially, because the moon rules your emotions. So if it was a Taurus, you know, maybe like a Taurus Libra, just like Jay, that could work. But if it's, you know what I'm saying? Like you are absolutely right. Watch for those moon and those rising signs. The rising sign, to me, I tend to look at the moon more because I want to see what you're thinking. I want to know how you get down. I want to know if you're somebody that's, with all due respect, that I'm going to be able to walk all over, or you're somebody that's going to put me in my place when I need to.
Yeah.
Such a Taurus thing to say.
It is.
Riley said he was a Capricorn moon.
Capricorn moon. That is
two earth sign moon.
Yeah, that Capricorn moon is no disrespect. I'm not trying to separate male from female, but the Capricorn moon can be a little bit difficult when it comes to, they put a great amount of responsibility on themselves, or the responsibility was placed on their shoulders at a very young age. There's usually issues with the mother. A lot of astrologers will say, no, it's the father because it's Saturn. It's the mother. To me,
that is so Riley. Wow,
really?
That's so wow.
So the mother either was, and this is just two examples here. The mother was not very emotionally strong. Maybe the child saw the mother go through, you know, dates or, you know, men like crazy or whatever, and was not attached to that emotional side of things. Or the mother was very hardcore that didn't allow the child. Maybe the child was too sensitive and kind of felt like it always leads that person to more of an independent way, and they end up getting involved in relationships that, not all of them. So I'm not trying to lump everybody in there. I'm going to stay safe here, but a good majority of them get themselves involved in relationships where they're the nurturer and the caretaker because they've always had that level of responsibility on their shoulders at a young age, and they need to learn what it's like to receive love, to be in that relationship and allow love to hit them in that way. That's one of the things.
Do I have a Capricorn moon too? I think I got a Capricorn moon.
You got that Aries moon. It's pretty damn near close.
Wow.
Like, is he talking about me?
Oh my God. No, like when I tell you, you are literally reading Riley right now. Like that's amazing. Wow. That's what she just said. I'm dead. Like that's wow.
What's her sun sign?
Oh my gosh.
Riley, what's your sun sign, babe?
Taurus.
And thank y'all so much for all of the super chats coming in. I appreciate it. I'm sorry we're so deep in the conversation. I can't shout out each one, but y'all know I appreciate y'all.
She's Taurus Capricorn.
Where did she?
Ashely, is that what you said? She's a Taurus.
She's a Taurus. Yeah, that's her son. She's Taurus. Yeah.
Yeah. So that again. Look. I mean, I can speak from experience here. This person's got to learn how to allow herself the opportunity to let go and think about herself without making it seem like she's being selfish. Because she's got to separate again. Here, this is hashtag self-care. And people think it's too pride comes from pride and ego. She needs to have more pride and ego when it comes to herself.
Can we all just acknowledge Ashely snapback?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Yes, I'm just like,
don't look at me.
baby wear.
Okay,
Wow.
Monique, here's the thing. I'm sorry to take this conversation off topic, but I learned so much about nutrition this time around.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, and I know that you've always been really into what you eat. You're an intuitive eater, and I just learned a lot about it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, you look great, Mama.
Thank you, babe. Thank you.
So you're an intuitive eater, Monique?
Oh man, I'm very much. I consider myself a healer. I just naturally know what works for whatever reason. It was crazy. Me and Jay were just having this conversation the other night, and I don't know. It's definitely a gift. I feel like I'm very much in tune with my atmosphere, with my energy. I've been on a journey for like over a year, and it's gotten that much stronger. So I'm very like. I'm really doing my best to pay attention to intuition and let that guide me. And to the point where I barely watch TV. Like I like to read, I like to be with my family, and I like to do my business, you know. Yeah. So I try to keep all of that outside noise outside, and it's been great for me. So
Did you have issues with your digestion before?
No. I've always been a pretty healthy person. The only thing that was an issue for me was the sugar. Like I was like addicted to eating candy. I mean, people will watch me on IG Live eat like 20 Reese cups, you know, and I've stopped eating sugar like almost completely. I use like agave to sweeten my coffee or things like that. But yeah, I had to get that under control because that sugar is a depressant. And I'm such a bubbly person. I cannot be depressed. Like I just can't.
The reason why I'm saying that is because, and I'm not trying to lump again all Libras here, but that double Libra, they can have issues when it comes to their digestion, and it's not just like the upset stomach, but like going to the bathroom, not being regular sometimes. And
that was initially, so years ago, I thought that was normal to like go once a day, and then my husband had to tell me like, no, that is when we were dating. He's like, no, that's like terrible. What are you doing? And then that's what really got me on my whole journey of just like really paying attention to my diet. And I've not ever been more regular, you know, like it literally, it was like life changing. And it people don't realize how much that affects your mood. It affects your whole overall health, your overall well-being. They say that your colon is your second brain, and it really is. Everything, major arteries, everything's connected to your colon. And if you're full of crap, you're gonna be full of crap. Like
and you're gonna smell like it too. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, like I said, Monique, we had a chance to talk briefly before the show went on, and you are just giving yourself your own reading here. As far as like what I see with you, and again, keep it up. But remember, again, when I talk about guides, I never used to say the word guides. I'm just going to throw it out there because people are like, who are they? Honor that intuition, because that side of you is getting ready to wake up even more. You said you've been on this journey for a year. I feel like towards the end of next year, not to say that it's going to be a dud. The rest of the year, the whole year is going to be a dud up until the end of the year. But you're going through all this evolution here, where a lot of things are falling off of you. Allow it to fall off. Don't look back. You don't need that anymore. Probably the last time you touched that was years ago. Keep moving forward.
Oh yeah.
Yes, queen.
Girl. That's where I am. And it's funny. It's funny because I realize the further I move forward, people from the past that have just terrible energy, terrible people who I thought were friends, anything like that. I mean, just reaching out, and I'm just like, ignore.
I'm going to show you this.
Like, not fooling with it. I'm good.
You got to flick. And remember, as you're going through your evolution, as you're going through a change, you're getting ready to change a part of you that you've always used as a defense mechanism, what you've been used to your entire life. Once you start realizing that you don't need that, or that armor starts to fall off and it starts to show your true skin, allow that to happen. And with that being said, the devil's always in the details. That MF will come in here and use your insecurities, will use, like you just said, people from your past to try to see where you're at. And if you want to just be a little bit religious here, and I'm not a religious person, but I do honestly believe that, you know, if whatever your belief system is, good or bad, God, the devil, work hand in hand. Go test Monique. Monique's talking a big game. Let's see if she's really about this evolution here.
Oh, yeah.
And look at you. And look at you. You flipped it. You were like, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy because I know people have actually, I can actually talk about this now. So there's a all-star show that's happening for Bravo. And I was actually invited to be a part of that. And I turned it down. And I said, you know what? It's, to me, it wasn't an issue of people on the show that I was on. It was an issue of network. It was an issue of production. So I said, I'm not interested. Thank you. But no, I'm not going to do it. And I remember my mom called me and she was like, wow, I'm so proud of you, because, you know, some people will want that fame and still want that platform. And for you to just turn it down and say, no, I'm good. That's amazing. You've reached a new level. And then 2 days later, T'Challa passed away. And for me, that was almost like a signal, like he was placed here for a reason. And it was like, you passed your test and now I can move on, and you got to keep moving forward. And at that moment, people might look at it like it's crazy, like, oh, it's a pet. But T'Challa was so much more to me than that. He was my emotional support. Birds are very spiritual. And I feel like he was a guide for me during the roughest 2 years of my life. And it was like, once I finally got past that test, it was like that one test. And then it's like, okay, you passed. Now you're moving forward. Then it was like something that could have caused me to revert back. You know, I had to keep pushing forward. And that was the message that I kept getting from that whole situation. I'm trying not to get emotional, but I'll never forget that, because it really, you know, really.
Oh, look at that.
Chris
I'm on support too, y'all.
He's watching upstairs.
There's that Leo.
Yeah,
There's that Leo.
emotional. All right. Bye, y'all.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, but I couldn't share that. I went live right after T'Challa passed, and I couldn't share that story because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to have any type of spoiler situation happen with something that was private, but they announced it now. So I feel like I can fully tell the story. But that's the only comfort that I was able to get from just knowing that he was here for a reason. And it was like, okay, you're good now. Like you got to handle this to keep moving forward, and don't revert back. Don't lose progress, even though it's so painful. But yeah, I know that, you know, spiritually he's still with me, you know.
You know, I mean, you gotta give yourself a clap here, seriously, because you're at least honoring what is going on here and seeing things for what they are. You have that clarity and that insight as you're going through what you're going through to know these are just tests, or this is, you know, like I said at the very beginning, that armor falling off of you, your defense mechanism, things that you found comforting, like your pet or whatever. Not saying that the pet had to die that way, but look what it's doing. It's time for you to move on here, come into your own strength. You know how many people I read on a daily basis that don't even acknowledge their signs, or when they ask me, you know, how do I know I'm getting signs? Well, you got to be willing to pay attention. They're not going to come out in neon lights and be like, this is where you should be going. It's very internal. And the fact that you're listening to it and you're catching yourself doing it and acknowledging what's going on here goes to show me. And again, I'm not saying that you're not going to have your bad days. You don't have to deal with dumbass people or get stuck in traffic, but you're evolving your mindset in a way to where things that would usually trigger you aren't doing it anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure.
So give yourself a clap. I'm serious, because you deserve it.
Yes, girl.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. It's been rough. It's been rough, but you know, onward and upward, and just, you know, learn as much as I can learn, and just appreciate. That was one thing I actually, my son, my oldest, Christopher, he literally broke down, which happens often. I mean, us losing T'Challa has affected our entire family, and my son like burst out into tears this morning, and I was comforting him, and I told him, I said, you know what, this is a life lesson for us to know that it's not about quantity as much as quality. We had T'Challa for 2 years, but the quality that he brought to our family, to everybody that loved him. I mean, this dude was like a whole entire star in 2 years. You know, most people can't even do that. So, you know, I said the quality that he brought to our life, it just kind of lets us see that whatever we do have in that moment, appreciate it, acknowledge it, love it, and embrace it while you have it, you know? So,
yeah. So I'm going to come in here with just a little bit more truth here for you. Make sure that you're allowing yourself the opportunity to be present as well. Especially when it comes to you, your own needs and your own wants. You got a great support system with your husband there, coming in there, checking on his boo, showing that love. Libra, Libras have an issue with a little bit of trusting and allowing themselves to kind of go with the flow there. Give yourself that opportunity to do that, because I'm telling you right now that this is not a love and light type of reading or trying to gas you or whatever, but these tests, you're acknowledging them and better things are on the way.
Absolutely. Thank you. Wow. All right, y'all. What we have next? I'm like, everybody in the comments.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so that was good.
Deep, Mo. Oh, yeah.
My sister said, "Oh, he nailed it on the trust." That's my sister there. Yes. So yeah, no, that's amazing. Ashely, people want to know, they want to get an update on the baby. How's the new baby? How's Dean? Yes.
Everything is good. So the baby he's 5.5 months old. He's sitting up. He's about to get a tooth. So basically everything for the second child is on fast forward. And I didn't quite expect that, but yeah, he's moving full throttle. Dean is a great big brother, but he is going through his terrific twos right now. So it's been a little bit of a whirlwind here in the Bahamas. Hurricane Dean has come through, but overall it's great, and I'm just the happiest mom. I really am.
Yes. What are your signs for your sons? What are your son's signs?
So they're both water signs. Dean is a Cancer and Dylan is a Pisces.
Oh, my sister, my brother, and my dad are all Pisces.
Yeah. I thought is Christopher? No, was one of your children born in February?
No, Christopher was January 31st. He's an Aquarius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Aquarius,
Christopher's Aquarius, Milani's a Cancer, and Chase is a Sagittarius. Ooh, buddy.
That poor Cancer in there.
Milani, the emotional roller coaster. She is such a water sign. That's her all the time.
Both of your kids, Ashely, are water signs, Pisces and Cancer.
Yes.
That's a nice little hookup for the two of them. As far as as they start to get older, being able to lean on each other and stuff. You always see Cancer and Pisces going together, Cancer and especially Scorpio and Cancer going together too. I love Cancer and I love Pisces. My moon is actually in Pisces.
Yeah, I love Pisces too. And it's really important to me as I watch their relationship develop. They are both really emotional. Granted, Dylan is only 5.5 months old. He's still just so affectionate to Dean, and I can always he's watching him. He stares at him. He doesn't look at me the way that he looks at his brother already.
Oh, they won't.
And
siblings love siblings.
They do. But with Michael being older, it's like he thinks a lot about the fact that he's not going to be here for all of their major milestones, and they'll at least have each other. So watching that for him is even more emotional than it is for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That Cancer is a very, I'm surrounded by Cancers. It's a very loyal sign. It's a very, you have to look at it. Their sun placement is the moon. Cancer is the moon. So their first go-to is, how does this make me feel? How do I feel about this? In Pisces, you got, since my moon is in Pisces and I mess with Pisces here, that is the one sign that I always say, girl, get off the cross. We need the wood. Because they can really, we don't forget stuff, especially our past, people that have hurt us, and kind of we remember these things to make ourselves feel bad. It's like if we're not feeling something, we feel out of place. And that Pisces loves to dish it, and just like Leo can't necessarily take it sometimes there. So they got to work on those boundaries. But I love Pisces, very creative, very psychic, very intuitive. Cancer, very loyal, very intuitive, but also very nurturing and very loyal.
Wow.
Layla wants to know, why do Capricorns hide emotions?
Because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is the planet of karma. It's also the planet of time and restriction. So Capricorn people, my daughter's a Capricorn. She's same age as Jay there. they have a hard time. It's always what do we need to be doing? How can I get there? They're very busy. They're very busybody people, determined to do things. They're kind of old souls, but they always feel the sense to want to take care of or handle things. Give it to me. If you want something done right, do it yourself. That's Capricorn. So they have a hard time allowing the emotions to come in sometimes.
Okay. Onyx Blade wants to know any advice about a Virgo and Pisces friendship. Well, my mom's a Virgo, and my oldest sister, is a Pisces.
Let me tell you something about Virgo. And if you guys listen to my podcast, I'm not talking mess about Virgos, but that has to be one of the signs here, especially. And I'm not being a feminist or being a male pig here, but it's a very, very difficult sign sometimes because they are overthinkers. They're super smart. They know a little bit about a lot of different things. You can go to them and chances are they know exactly what it is that you're talking about. They're great at organizing things. They're being of service to other people. Yeah. But when it comes to them and relationships, these ones, and tell me Virgos if I'm getting this wrong, don't be afraid to call me out. But it's like when they get involved in relationships, they forget why we fell in love with them because they've got great senses of humor. They're funny. They reenact everything that they see on television. They come with it. But when they get in relationships, it's like, oh, shoot, I'm in a relationship. I got to put a different hat on. And they tend to overthink things. And the polar opposite of Virgo is Pisces.
Wait, my sister said, oh my God, I'm done. No, you're literally describing my mom right now.
Yeah, that
hey,
Virgos,
Mom.
Yeah, Virgo, Pisces. I mean, you can look at that as being able to balance each other out. Virgo can take in some of that emotional energy from Pisces, and Virgo can tell Pisces buck up. Because
my God.
Yeah.
Tasha, are you listening?
Well, I have a question because I always tell people that I cannot date a Virgo. I don't know why. I just have like bad luck with Virgos, but we can be amazing friends. But romantically, I just can't seem to get it together. Like, are Virgos and Taurus supposed to be just friends only? Like, I try not to base my romantic situations based off Zodiac.
Yeah.
But it seems like me and Virgos just really are not compatible romantically.
We make the best of friends with those people. With Virgos, we can make, because I'm a Taurus too, so we make really good friends with Virgos. Virgo, and they're both earth signs. They're both, I think they trine each other or whatever. I'm not into the technical side of the astrology thing, of the astrology stuff. But I think Taurus has a hard time relaxing with Virgo because Virgo's energy could be very high sometimes. They always can be fidgety or messing with shit, and we're kind of like, would you relax? We just want to eat. You know what I'm saying? And Virgo's like, Virgo wants to ask questions all the time. They really want to know. They're very engaging. And people would think that they're nosy. No, they just love to communicate. They love cracking things open and seeing how things work. And they're the sign that I always say that when a Virgo comes to me and they're, not all of them, but when they tell me, oh, I'm thinking about getting into, therapy, going to see a psychologist or psychiatrist, I always say, girl, you better make sure that psychiatrist is either on the same level as you or a level higher, because you're going to pick out every one of their inadequacies, size them up in like 2 minutes, and then you're done.
True.
That's Virgo to me. That is Virgo.
Well then.
Yes. Adalia wants to know, how about a Libra and a Cancer in a relationship?
I love that. I think that Libra and Cancer in a relationship, I think that Libra can lean into Cancer, especially if it's a male, we'll just say male Cancer Libra woman. That Libra, that Cancer energy can allow that Libra woman to really feel, or that Libra to really feel the that love there and that loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And Libra can bring in some of that air and kind of like, because Libra's got an amazing sense of humor. You guys are all about, you guys like to prank people. You guys like to be very witty and like, kind of like mess with people in a very funny, pranky type of way there. And Cancer loves that. So I think that those two signs together make a really good couple. The only thing is that boundaries, making sure that the Cancer's not getting too emotionally involved, and Libra's not depending on that Cancer all the time.
Okay. What about Pisces and Taurus? You already said that? No, you said Pisces. No, you said Taurus and Virgo. Pisces and Taurus.
Pisces and Taurus, that's a nice combination because Pisces wants to be taken care of. Pisces needs that. Pisces is very intuitive, and Pisces kind of can read people like a book, and Taurus wants to take care of. They want to nurture. So that, again, it's all about boundaries between the two of them there, because Taurus will get irritated with that Pisces energy sometimes, like, you know, what about me sometimes? So they got to find that balance there. But ultimately, I think it makes for a good couple.
Okay. What if someone said we left out Aquarius? We didn't say anything about Aquarius people. My oldest son is an Aquarius. I had an Aquarius male friend years ago, and he actually taught me how to be more positive, because I was a complainer. Oh my God, I was terrible. Like in my younger days, complained about everything. I was so darn spoiled. It's my sister's fault. But but yeah, so what do you think about Aquarius people in general?
Oh, Aquarius, you guys, I mean, I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, but I can give or take you guys sometimes. You guys come out of nowhere with stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're really good at being social and being funny, and they're really good at giving advice, but don't necessarily follow their own advice sometimes, because they're always going around. And this is not being a follower or an ass kisser or when I say people pleaser, but they kind of do what's expected of them sometimes. That's my problem with them. Yeah. But not again, please, Aquarius out there, I'm not talking crazy. It's just my experience with it.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. Ashely, so you do readings often. What do you have to say for people? So some people are very like into their religion, and they sometimes tend to think that, oh, readings, that's not of God or anything like that. And I'm a person where I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. And I'm a person who I believe that God gives us gifts, you know, so you can look at it either way. So being that you're a person who does readings often, what do you have to say about people who have that type of criticism? And have you ever been like, do you consider yourself spiritual, or like, how do you consider yourself? Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate that you're touching on this topic. My best friend, Eve Monica, she is incredibly intuitive person. She's clairvoyant, all of that. And a lot of times what she gets, especially from people who are of a different generation, of a previous generation in particular, they do have an issue because they think it's conflicting with the word of God. And what we try to say, I say to people around me, is that everything that is here on this earth, every idea, every thought that you have is available to you because of a gift that God gave you. So for you to think that those two things cannot coexist actually diminishes from the gift that God gave you, from the gift that God gave to this world. And to simplify the complexity of this universe, complexity of everything out there that we don't know about, to say that it only can be defined by X, Y, and Z, and if it doesn't fit into this mold, then it's wrong. God, it's abhorrent, it's an abomination. It's a really small-minded thing, and you're really shortchanging the gifts that we have been given.
Yeah. I totally agree.
It's funny, but if you ask those people, well, what about your own intuition? What about, you know, when God came in and gave you that vision? They don't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at sometimes they don't look at their own intuition as a sign of God, or as what it is with what I do, you know, psychic or whatever. I get called demon all the time. I get called, you're not, that's not very Christian or very Catholic like of you to be that way or whatever. Believe it or not, I've had, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I've had visions where the saints themselves have come to me. And there was just to kind of be brief here, there was somebody that I wasn't supposed to be messing around with that was heavy into witchcraft. Well, I took him to this church that I used to meditate in when I lived in Oregon, and I kept feeling something standing behind me, and I kept looking back, nothing was there. I said, the third time I did it, I said, I'm going to get up and see what you want, and I got up to go see what it wanted, and it took me to these two statues. And one of them was a male, the other one was a female. And the janitor at that time, this was like 9 o'clock at night, was cleaning the church, and he was walking by. I said, hey, who is the statue of here? He said, oh, that's the name of the church. That's Saint Benedict and his sister. And then when I said, well, why are you calling me over here? That I heard a voice tell me, why don't you look me up? Do you know that Saint Benedict is a patron saint against witchcraft?
Oh, get out.
Yes, he says they said you do not need to mess with that. I'm not saying that all witchcraft is bad, but that's something that I should not have gotten myself involved in. Also had really fast here Padre Pio. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I had no idea who this was. He came to me in a dream and told me that he was very much like me. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I have the same ability as you do too. You should look me up. And then come to find out, my Gemini sister gave me a bag of these little saint medallions. And I said, do you know who Padre Pio is? And she goes, yeah, he's in that bag that I gave you. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah. And she's like, I got you that. I said, do you know what he's the saint for? She's the patron saint of healing and psychics.
Wow.
So tell me again, is this the devil talking to me, or because I've seen the devil, I've heard the devil talk to me. So when people tell me that you can't that you can't have this ability and be God-based, you're wrong.
Wow, that's deep. That's really deep.
It is.
Yeah. Look, I'm here for it. I'm all about that connection with the atmosphere, with nature, and it's funny because growing up, I grew up in a very Christian household, Christian environment, and it was always like, astronomy is bad, astrology is bad. But when you even read the Bible, they use the stars when they were like trying to find Jesus and stuff. So,
yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna be mad.
They say the Bible is created off astrology.
It is.
I mean, I don't want to go all the way down there and offend anybody, but
right.
It's
about the sun's journey throughout the atmosphere. Holy means sun. Bible means book. Sun book. There you have it. So like it really does. There's a lot of astrology within the Bible. People just refuse to see it. Yeah. So yeah, if people do their own due diligence rather than just listening to what someone else is telling them and taking that as fact, then they'll actually see that there's a lot of things in the Bible that are quite opposite of what you think they mean and what your belief systems are. And even when it comes to just spirituality in general, I'm not religious at all. Like religious means bondage. It literally means bondage. It's something that was created to keep people controlled. I'm not going to be controlled because the only thing that's controlling me is God. That's why I say I'm a spiritual person. I'm a spiritual being. So yeah.
100%.
Very deep. Very deep.
Goodness.
Yeah. We can have a whole sermon off that one.
Oh, girl, yes, I'm with you on that. Yes.
Yeah, with the medium side of stuff too. You don't know how many times I've been schooled by actual ghosts coming and talking to me and telling me how this really plays out. They were like, this is not like television. This isn't what you see on television. One ghost told me, Chris, why would I want to come and talk to you? Why would anybody? You don't realize something. When Chris Medina dies, everything about Chris Medina goes. His trauma, his bills, his pain. Why would we want to come back to that?
That's deep.
Yeah,
that's deep. Have you ever, like you said, you've been visited by people who have passed?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a story that literally changed my life. When my son was a year and a half years old, he was a year and a half, my oldest. He kept waking up in the middle of the night and he would just have these full-blown conversations, laughing. I would come in the room, turn the light on, and he's sitting up in bed, cracking up, laughing and talking, and it would creep me out. My cousin who would help us with the kids at the time, he witnessed it. I witnessed it. My husband witnessed it. So one day, finally, I was like, I'm gonna have a talk with him in the morning and just see like what's going on. That's so weird. So I said, Christopher, I was like, who are you talking to? Who are you laughing with? And he was like, oh, my friend. And I said, well, who's your friend? And he's like, oh, she comes and she talks to me. And I said, well, who is she? He said, her name is Shona. And I literally, everything in me like almost collapsed because even though he said Shona, I have a best friend who passed away before he was born named Shauna.
Oh, yeah.
It freaked me out. And I was like, whoa. So I told my husband, I was like, that is so wild. How does he even know? Like, it was so wild. And I just felt like, especially with younger children, they just have this connection that they probably don't even recognize.
No, it's when the adults start to infiltrate that child's mind that changes the child's perception. But children are very psychic. My good friend, who I'm not related to, her daughter was able to pick up on my third eye and pick up on my presence. I could feel that, and I would have like I know it sounds weird, but have a spiritual conversation with her.
Wow.
Yeah, and then just to kind of throw another thing in there, I read. I used to do these events where a bunch of psychics, mediums, all under one tent. You go pay to go get read or whatever. And I remember this woman walking in, and she wanted me to read her, but I was more interested in reading her daughter. Her daughter must have been like either 7 or 9 years old. And I said, yeah, I would love to read you. I said, but do you mind if I talk to your daughter first? And she's like, for what? And I was like, she has the gift. And she was like, what? I said, she's a medium. And then the mom's like, her jaw dropped, and she was like, oh my God. And I asked the little girl, I was like, you're different, right? I said, can you tell me about the people that come and visit you? She told me that her dad comes to visit her. Her dad died of an overdose. The little girl that lived across the street that she said was bald would come visit her. That little girl died of cancer. And then during mid-sentence, girl, I am not joking. When I'm talking to her, this little girl stops, and she looks directly behind me, and she goes, and I was like, what are you looking at? And I got goosebumps. I got nervous right away. And she says, I know how you know what to do. I know how you know what to tell people. And I was like, what? She goes, I know how you do it. And I was like, how? And she said, you got the 2 women whispering in your ear with the big guy telling them what to say. And I was like, what? And I go, you're looking at them right now? She goes, yeah, can't you hear them? They're talking to you. And I was like, yes, I can hear them. I said, but you can see them? And she said, yeah, this was a 7-year-old girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Jay, have you ever had any moments like that? Do you ever feel like you've ever had any like clairvoyant or like dreams or anything like that you've ever like felt before?
I kind of feel like that often. I don't know. Me growing up, I was always kind of taught to stay away from like psychics and things like that. But I'm, as an adult, I've been more open to things because I really feel like there is a deeper meaning for literally everything. And I feel like, if something pops up in my dreams or something like that, there's a deeper meaning. And I have really, a lot of the times, I believe I said it when we had, I think Shamari on, we were talking about like manifestation or something like that. And I had like a weird random dream about like me visiting China or something like that. And I've never had like dreams where I travel and things like that. And apparently there's something deep down inside of me that shows itself in different situations. I'm still trying to clock what it is. I feel very, I don't know. Like this is a really deep topic, but I just really feel like certain things have been happening that have never happened to me before. And I'm trying to figure out what's the bigger meaning. Like I can't put my finger on it because I clearly don't know what is going to happen to me. But I feel like I've been seeing different signs in different situations that are somehow combining themselves, if that makes sense. But I just don't know what it is.
Make sure that you're writing all that stuff down and you're referring back to it because you're at that age. What are you, like 22, 23?
I'm 22.
You're 20. Yeah. You're at that age where this is where people have a hard time between the ages of 17 and 22. Right around that time, and then around 22 is when you start really coming into yourself. You start noticing different things. So pay attention, start writing things down and referring back to it. And also too, if you're going to ask for signs, like, I usually ask my guide sometimes, like, give me another sign if this is where you want me to go, or because I'm not clear yet because I can't read myself. So give me something else, but be willing to pay attention to that because like I said earlier, before the cameras went on, remember what I said about about the social thing and you kind of changing or whatever? Yeah. Honor that because there's a part of that's getting ready to wake up. I'm not going to say you're going to be full blown psychic, but they're trying to show you who you are.
It's crazy you say that because I think I said on my Instagram a couple of days ago, I said, is it like possible to have like a midlife crisis but not be midlife? Because I felt like I'm changing and I couldn't really understand why. And people were like, well, maybe you're going through like a quarter life crisis or something like that. But it's so crazy that you're saying that because I really felt like something strong is happening. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Let me tell you something. During that time, you have to understand something. I had led a very fast life. So by the time I was your age, I already had a daughter. So during that time, during that 22, and I've always been a psychic. I was born this way. I didn't fall and bump my head. I thought I almost committed suicide between that age group there. And I also went to the hospital because I was like, I'm hearing all these voices and I feel like I'm going crazy. And when I went to the doctors, the woman said, she was a Mexican lady. She came in and she closed the door and she said, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I said, "Yes." And she goes, "You're not crazy." She said, "You're psychic." She said, "What you are hearing are the thoughts of other people. You're not going crazy." And she told me, "You're going to make a big mistake if you allow them to take you to that facility." It woke me right up. So with you, I'm telling you, you're starting to come into yourself. So pay attention to what's going on. Write things down and keep a journal. I know it sounds hokey, but keep a journal so you can reflect back on it, especially when you get other hits too, because you're going to want to be like, wait a minute, what was that? And you're going to want to refer back to it. Because again, I'm not saying that you forget things, but you can kind of like glaze over it and then be like, oh my God, what was that again? And kind of want to go back to it. So have something to refer back to.
Wow. Billy Malloy had a great question. Hey, Billy. He said, best way to find a spiritual guide.
If this is in the form of like a guide, like if you want to use me as a guide, like a psychic guide, or if it's more of like your own personal guides, you have them around you no matter what. You got to make that contact with them, and you also got to be willing to listen to what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it's like, to me, I feel like the purpose for me is this journey to enlightenment. To really know who I am, to truly know who I am, to truly know what my purpose is, and to make sure that I'm walking in line with what my purpose is. And I just had to simplify it because I feel like in life, we make things so complex. We make things much more difficult than they need to be. I remember growing up, I just had this conversation with my dad the other day. I said, I bet God is looking down on us like, yo, y'all are stupid. Like, y'all are just making it so complex, more difficult than what it needs to be. Like we just put so much onto things when it just comes down to me to just simple practices like respecting people, loving nature. The guy that created me also created the ant, the spider, the mosquito, even though mosquitoes are pesty, but just having simple respect for nature. My friend taught me, if you have a plant that someone gave you and the plant dies in your home, don't just throw it in the trash. Go replant it outside. Maybe it'll have a better chance. You think that it might be dead, but it may still be some life there. So just having common courtesy for just simple things,
And also too, watch for that animal energy. I'm Native American. My dad's Apache Indian. I firmly believe in animal totems and animal signs.
Oh, my totem is definitely birds. Always has been.
So yeah, if any of you guys want to know more about that, find a book. It's called Animals Speak. It's almost like an encyclopedia of all the different animals that are totems. It's a very useful book there. Like whenever I see ants, like black ants, inside the house, there's always some mess that comes with it because ants remind me of irritation. It reminds me of tiny little problems there. Or if you see just be aware of those things. And I'm telling you one last time, Monique, I don't want to give your whole reading away here, but as you start to venture down your own path here, watch what that clarity is going to do for you. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about your creativity. In your mindset, you've kind of been, and stop me if I'm wrong, don't let me just gas you, but you kind of, I feel like there's been kind of a little bit of a block there, or something kind of obstructing your view a little bit here. That's dissipating here, so you're going to feel more open, more energy, and more clarity, and more I don't know how to say this, more creative energy. So
you're so on point right now. I literally I know my husband, he's watching right now, he probably thinks I'm crazy, but I took up dance. So like now I'm like dancing. I'm literally at a point where I was like, I have so much creative energy in me and I need to release it. I need to explore it. I need to release it. So I literally yesterday took a dance class and it's stuff that I used to do when I was younger that makes me feel fulfilled. And it's so crazy how when you experience loss, it'll kind of push you into exploring other things about yourself that you may have neglected or forgot about. So definitely in creative space, I've been pushing forward in that. So that's crazy that you mentioned that. Ashely, you're starting to fade away.
Right.
I'm so sorry, guys.
It's all good. No, I appreciate. Listen,
okay.
I wish we're gonna have to have a part 2, honestly, because this was just
that's really good.
This was amazing. I definitely want to have you both back. Ashely, if your schedule, look, I know you got the 2 babies, and Michael, tell Michael we said hello.
Yeah.
This has been such a good topic. I hope that everyone that's watching has enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I have information on how to follow Chris, Medina, and Ashely in the description. So if y'all want to learn more about them, just click below. And we'll be back next week with Poet Taylor. She's a local radio host, WPGC, and also Tiffany Moon from Real Housewives of Dallas is going to be coming. We're going to be talking about what it means to be a boss. So that's going to be next week's episode. It's going to be great. Tiffany is right there. So yeah, it's going to be really good. But listen, I appreciate this. Has been just amazing. I feel like I got a really good
it's been amazing for me too. Yes. Monique, I have to say that I am so impressed, and I've watched your journey. Granted, I haven't known you that long. I have to say that it's a remarkable thing to watch your growth, to see the person that you are, to watch how you've always been very positive and uplifting, and how you are continuing in that trajectory. And it's just really nice to be your friend and be on the sideline cheering you on, because you're just doing it and it's amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Ashely. Like, seriously, you've sent me text messages. You've checked on me when I've had some very low moments. You've always had my back. Even I've heard stories of you having my back that you've never even told me about. And I'm like, Ashely is a true ride or die. You have been amazing. We're very grateful for you and Michael. And I just love you. And I thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really do.
Thank you, babe. I love you too. Kiss the babies for me.
I definitely will. I definitely will. Chris, any parting words for you, Chris?
Well, I want to give the two lovely ladies and the wonderful gentlemen some flowers here, in thanking you very, very much for allowing me the opportunity to be on your platform, for having to have a voice here. You guys are amazing. This was a beautiful experience. I want to do part 2. I have to do part 2. So I'm there.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for everything.
Awesome. Thank you. Look, we're going to be looking at the schedule and getting you booked for sure. Great. All right. Y'all have an awesome night. Jay, any parting words before we go? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I'm just going to, like Chris said, be more open and let love find me.
Yes. I love it.
I got you guys. One last thing.
Night, peace and blessings. Yes. I'm sorry, Chris.
One last thing. I got your guys' back. Anytime you guys need something, you need some guidance, you need some insight, do not hesitate to reach out. Ashely, Jay, Monique, I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Until next week. Y'all take care.